except for those initial set of questions which are asked to you and which are common to you all. I keep repeating and telling you that subsequent questions that you will be asked will depend on your profile. What I mean by profile? I mean by profile that how you have performed academically. What is your participation in games, sports, extracurricular activities? What is your friend circle? And how do you interact with them? What are the extracurricular activities you have taken part? Now, all these things, and also your family background. Are you coming from a service background? When I say service background means your father happens to be from Army, Navy, Air Force. So that is a service background. Now, if you come from service background, then few things are expected of you that you will be knowing about NDA. You can't say, sir, हमें तो पता नहीं NDA क्या होता है. So that kind of an answer is not acceptable, particularly from a guy who is coming from service background. Okay. Similarly, your hobbies, etc. So all those things are individual to you, and therefore the further questions that interviewing officer asks you will be different for each one of you. Now, yesterday's interviews, some of the things you will be able to relate with your personal profile. Everything that happened with, let's say, Rakesh or with Digvijay or with Hind, they may not be absolutely applicable to you all. But then there are few things that you can relate with you. And accordingly, draw your conclusions and plan your responses. समझ में आ रहा है सबको मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ? अभी take for example, now Hind is more interested in off-road adventure activities. Off-road का मतलब you are going for a drive where there are no roads and tracks. You are going cross country, and obviously that has its own challenges. Are you all understanding? But then you may not be able to relate his activities with yours because you have never been exposed to that kind of an activity. So what he has done or what interest he has are personal to him, and therefore my questions to him were different. Are you all following this? But then there are lot many responses that you will be able to relate to yourself, and accordingly then plan your responses. All right, okay. So we are going to talk about certain responses that you all would have heard, I also heard, and how the interviewing officer is going to interpret such responses. What conclusion and assessment he'll make when you respond in this manner. Clear? Okay. Now, Rakesh is not here yesterday. He left yesterday evening. So, Rakesh is coming from service background. His father was in Para SF. So, obviously, it is expected that he will know adequately about army. Right? Okay. Now, he had his education in army Kent, Agra. Then there is a place in Himachal, Nahan. So he had his education in Nahan also. And then finally he got his admission in Army Institute of Technology in Pune based on his JE profile or JE percentile. Right? So now what happened? He tells me, so obviously I would have asked him, did you appear for NDA? He says, no, I didn't appear for NDA. So obviously there is a natural question in the interviewing officer's mind, क्यों क्या हुआ? एनडी के बारे में तो पता था, तुम्हारे फादर ने भी काफी दफे बताया होगा, एनडी के बारे में बात करी होगी और तुमने अपियर ही नहीं किया. बोला सर, आई अपियर फॉर RIMC. You know what is RIMC? Most of you would be knowing. RIMC is राष्ट्रीय इंडियन मिलिट्री कॉलेज. कहाँ पे है? देहरादून. It's a unique institution. It's only one of its kind in complete India. And each year when they have the entrance examination for RIMC, they select one cadet per state. So he said, sir, I appeared for RIMC twice and I didn't make it for RIMC. And then And now it is what you need to think. And then I thought, sir, I'll never be able to clear NDA also, because now RIMC is for class 6th, NDA is after class 12. There is no there is no equivalence between the two. So you can't draw a conclusion कि अच्छा यार RIMC में पास नहीं हुआ तो मैं NDA भी पास नहीं होऊंगा, मेरे लिए नहीं है. Understood? So uh, that is where his response was not, or he didn't draw a right conclusion from his failure to get admission in RIMC. All right, okay. Rakesh was good in academics. He had very good percentage, and he was more in studies than in games and sports. But at some point of time in his life, he realized that physical fitness is important, and he became very regular going to the gym. You would have seen him, he has got good physique. So physically he improved, though he could not take part much in games. But running and gym, he was very regular. Even in the exam, those of you who heard his response, even during the exams, he used to go and finish his routine in the gym. All right, okay. So that is the kind of dedication is really required and appreciated by your interviewing officer. Okay. All right, okay. Likes about your teachers. It's a common question you all will be asked. Generally speaking, you should not be critical of your teachers. A teacher may be, all teachers are different. We are all different. So some teachers are very, very helpful, very, very sympathetic to their students, will go out of their way in solving their doubts, clearing their, or in the way they teach. Some teachers are very strict, but they are otherwise very sincere. So some teacher may be very harsh. And here he gave an example. Sir, there was a teacher, about his dislike. Generally, as I said, as a matter of rule, you should not be critical of your teachers. Even some teacher had been very harsh with you. Once you look back after leaving the school, you'll say, अच्छा यार, वो मेरे फायदे के लिए ही मेरे साथ इतना strict था, मेरे साथ इतना harsh था, because I was not so good. I didn't work hard in that particular subject. Okay, so you will still think that जो उसने किया वो अच्छा ही किया. So here what happens? There was a teacher in chemistry, and that particular teacher did not answer his questions or did not clarify his doubts. When a thing like this happens, then it's not that you will take tuition from somewhere, some other teacher in chemistry, or you will go to your friends and tell them, यार मेरे को तो समझ में नहीं आया, तू बता ये क्या है उसने पढ़ाया. Right? Point is this: when you are in a situation like this and you start disliking the teacher, then there is a course of action open to you. What is that course? That course is, then raise the level. Go to your principal and request him, sir, this is what is happening in our class. Our doubts which we ask to our teacher doesn't answer or doesn't clarify our doubts or doesn't help us to understand chemistry. Kindly do something. All right, okay. So you need to raise your level, and rather than keeping quiet or finding some other source to make up for your not learning a subject from the teacher. Have you understood? So don't keep quiet, and if you happen to have a situation like this, you are required to take action. Okay. So that was one. Friends, how do you spend your time with them? Your likes and dislikes of your friends about you. What advice you get from your friends? What is the best thing that you remember about your friends? And such questions. So what he tells me about his dislikes, friends' dislikes about him, he said, I speak too loudly when I'm in my group of friends. But here he was speaking too softly. I was even having problem in hearing him. So there is a little dichotomy. Then he said his friends didn't like. As I said earlier, he was very fond of exercising himself, go for run, go to the gym, and he used to insist on his friend, chalo, I'm going for the run, come out and let's go for the run. And friends would say, come, don't disturb us. We are not interested in your routine. So point is this, it's good to motivate your friends, but at the same time, you should know that in your effort to motivate them, you should not become a nuisance to your friends. Are you understanding? So you have to draw a line. Acha, theek hai. If somebody is getting motivated, somebody is, understand the importance of physical fitness and he joins you, is fine. But everybody may not join you. Okay, so don't be, don't go out of the way to make your friends do what you are doing or what you like to do. Understood? Then he told me, how he spends his time with his family, and when he's there during his vacations, semester breaks. So he mentioned that, sir, we go out, we visit temples and all, and he mentioned about Karni Mata temple. Now, some of you may be knowing, some of you may not be knowing कि Karni Mata temple कहाँ पर है, but it's a famous temple. And then your interview, as an interviewing officer asked him, अच्छा कहाँ है Karni Mata temple? And he said, sir, वो तो याद नहीं है. How many times did you visit Karni Mata? He said, 3 times. You had been there 3 times and you don't know कि वो कहाँ है. तो that क्या हो गया ये? कुछ गड़बड़ है कि भाई 3 दफे जाके आए हो और तुम्हें पता ही नहीं कि वो कहाँ पर है. So then I asked him, what is so typical about Karni Mata temple? That he could tell me. कि सर वहाँ पे बहुत माउसेस है, माउसेस नहीं, बहुत माइस है. ठीक है, yes, that, then I know, yes, he has been there. But then, you cannot go blank in a question like this. कहाँ कहाँ कौन कौन से मंदिर देखे हैं? He said, sir, Salasar temple and then Karni Mata temple. So then I said, Salasar temple is, on the way to Sikar. हाँ sir, yes sir. And then I said, where is that? So don't go, have an open mind. But I know sometime what may happen. Sometime you may not be able to recollect the name. The name Bikaner may not come very fast to your mind. So you are stuck. You can say, sir, I know the place, I've been there, but I'm not able to recollect that name at this moment. और जब बाद में during the course of the interview, if you happen to remember कि अच्छा यार वो बीकानेर था, you can tell him, sir, that place I was referring to was बीकानेर. Okay, पर ये नहीं कह सकते हो कि यार मुझे तो पता नहीं वो कहाँ था, उस सपने में थोड़ी गए. Alright, okay, alright. Now, many of you may be given tuitions to the younger children, earning some money. There will always be a question about your pocket money. So these are two linked questions. How much pocket money do you get and how do you spend it? And also, if you are earning something, say you are earning 10,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees. Now, Rakesh was earning 1 lakh rupees. After his BTech, he was placed in a company, a US company, and he was working for that company and earning 1 lakh rupees. So obviously, your interviewing officer will ask you, कि तुम्हारे पास इतना पैसा आ रहा है या तुम 15,000 रुपये अर्न कर रहे हो by giving tuitions, how are you using it? Now there is particular aim behind it कि तुम ये जो पैसा आ रहा है ना उसका कैसे इस्तेमाल करते हो. तो आप कहोगे कि सर कपड़े खरीदता हूँ, घूमने फिरने जाता हूँ, बाइक में पेट्रोल भरवाना है, बाहर फ्रेंड्स के साथ खाना पीना है. तो क्या मतलब हुआ कि सब कुछ अपने पे ही खर्च कर रहे हो, राइट? So that will give an impression, and then definitely interviewing officer will ask you, all right, okay, do you have some savings? नहीं सर, वो तो फिर देखो सर 15,000 रुपये आजकल क्या होता है, कुछ भी नहीं होता है. वो तो खाने पीने में, घूमने फिरने में, दोस्तों के साथ मूवीज, पिकनिक, आउटिंग्स, and I blow it up. So that is one way or one example. But remember, whenever you have a source of income, or even your parents may be giving you some pocket money, make it a point to save part of it. All right, okay, and collect it. Now, in his case, uh, your interviewing officer want to find out that how are you using this money wisely for your family, helping your, after all, you have been educated, you have been made to do BTech, parents have spent so much of money. Now it is your time to give back. So is give back taking place or not? So I asked him, 1 लाख रुपया मिल रहा है, कैसे खर्च करते हो? बोला, सर, I give 20,000 rupees for rental. They had hired a flat in Pune. Now complete family has moved to Pune because he's working in Pune and his younger brother was also studying or doing something in Pune. So the family moved there and so he's paying for the rent. Though father is also earning his pension. Then he said, sir, I spent 10,000 rupees on me. And he said, so much of money is in my savings and rest of the money I hand over to my parents. So that gives a good impression about the candidate that, though he's earning a good amount of money, but he's not being selfish and he's being wise in handling his money. On himself, he spent only 10,000 rupees out of 1 lakh. 90,000 rupees are primarily for his family and other expenditures that his family incurring by staying in Pune. Okay, so when you are earning some money, then always indicate, ki, sir, as and when there is an occasion like my parents' marriage anniversary or my younger brother's birthday, then I make it a point to give them a gift. Okay, or I give them a surprise by taking them out for a meal. So those kind of responses will be taken positively. And always, have some savings for a rainy day. Say you may have, all right, okay, my mobile is too old. My father, once he get fed up with his mobile, he pass it on to me. So I have an old mobile, but now that I've started learning, now I'm looking for a good mobile of Samsung. I want to buy Samsung Galaxy 23 that costs say 40,000 rupees. So I'm collecting money for that. So you can always plan and start saving and indicate to your interviewing officer when you are talking about handling money, how you handle your money. Okay, do that. Now, what are your weaknesses and where you think you need to further improve? So one of the responses in that he gave me was, sir, I don't know how to invest money in shares. Now, this kind of response for a service candidate, you are all service candidates, is not a very positive response. When you tell me, sir, मैं शेयर में पैसा डालना चाहता हूँ, तो मेरा मन में क्या आएगा कि once he becomes an officer, he will be more interested in making money. कि अच्छा, इन शेयर में पैसा डालना है, अभी ये कंपनी अच्छा कर रही है, हाँ, अभी मेरा पैसा इतने टाइम में डबल हो जाएगा, डबल हो जाना चाहिए. Are you all following this? तो क्या होगा? That he will not be much interested in what he is required to do, or he will be more concerned about money than doing his duty sincerely. That's a negative. Don't talk about making money or sharing or investing money in mutual fund and shares and all. Even if you are doing it, do it in your quiet way. You don't have to share a response like this with your interviewing officer. Have you all understood? All right, okay. So these were few of the points in the first interview that we had yesterday. Now, then we had another interview